Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A man known for delivering essentials to people in need has a key piece of his operation stolen.
One Macomb County School District is giving a mask mandate a try after they say they found out what parents really want.
And a man who had access to children through his job at a local school district is facing charges in a child pornography case. Thanks for joining us at 6, everyone. Some parents in the Lamphere district may be asking their children some uncomfortable questions over the accusations against Richard Parisi.
Parisi worked as a paraprofessional until January of this year. Now he's facing several charges related to receiving and distributing images of children. Victor Williams live in Madison Heights with what we've learned about this investigation. Victor.
Yes, Kimberly and Jason, the authorities seized about 8 different devices from this man, and what they found is a real shocker.
Would you want him to be alone with your children?
A former paraprofessional is now facing charges related to giving and receiving child pornography. Some who personally knew the man are speaking out. This person who asked that we change their voice wants to conceal their identity.
I think he should be in prison for the rest of his natural life.
Richard Wilbur Parisi was the subject of a multi-agency online child sexual exploitation and abuse investigation. The investigation was conducted by ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. It was the Cyber Crimes Unit that uncovered an inappropriate set of kick chats featuring numerous members who would post various images of child pornography for everyone to see. Images so sickening, we can't even describe them to you. The 8-page federal complaint alleges Parisi was receiving disturbing photos of girls as young as 9 years old from someone overseas in London. Tonight, Lamphere Schools is saying Parisi no longer has any connection with the district. Their statement partially reads, quote, "When the district was informed of the allegations and pending investigation, we took immediate action against this individual that has been on an unpaid leave since January of 2021 for matters unrelated to this situation. We communicated that the unpaid leave will continue throughout the investigation by law authorities in our district. The individual in question has resigned from the district."
Hopefully he'll never, I don't think he'll ever work in a school again. Hopefully never.
And even though there was a criminal investigation done by all of these agencies, I'm told that the district is going to be doing their own internal investigation to see if there were any students victimized. So far, it doesn't look like that was the case. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Really disturbing. Victor, thanks.
Despite there being no mask mandate in Macomb County, Clintondale Community Schools adopts a temporary mask mandate to help curb the spread of COVID. The Board of Education voted on the new rule today after looking at results of a survey sent out to parents. Masks will need to be worn by all pre-K through 12 students, teachers, staff, and visitors at all district buildings. That goes from October 18th to January 31st. The mask rule will also apply for spectators at all indoor athletic events and extracurricular events during and after school hours. It will not apply for student athletes or game officials. A national survey indicates an exodus for school superintendents who say they've had enough. They're tired of doing battle with parents over a myriad of social and public health issues instead of being able to focus on safely educating children. Paula Tutman explains the problem and a relatively easy fix.
According to a recently released survey that was done for superintendents across the nation, more than 2/3 say they are thinking about or are planning on quitting their jobs. At 4, we introduce you to Jeff Wright, a superintendent who retired at 60 years old from a Central Michigan school district, the Pewamo Westphalia Schools, because he had simply had enough of the personal attacks and threats to his personal safety because he says he was trying to protect his 600 students by following the science.
Do you even care about kids? Screw what the government's telling you to do. You're not doing the right thing for kids. Questioning my faith. I thought you were a godly man. I thought you were a Christian man. Here you don't abide by the Christian. I'm just breaking on the sweat.
According to a survey by the National Superintendents Roundtable, if you are a female or a minority, you're even more likely to get vicious attacks from parents.
Superintendents of color and women put up with shocking misogynistic abuse.
The burnout is real. You know, everyone, all of us have gone into this field to serve students and families. And now we are working on convincing folks to wear masks. We're talking about encouraging folks to have vaccinations. We are encouraging people just to show up.
But while Dr. Elena Zachary Ross of the Ypsilanti Community School District says the idea of quitting has certainly danced pleasantly in her head,
I thought about what other things could I do.
She says she's not going anywhere, though she thought about it hard. Experts say this is a bellwether call to action, and it is reversible right now if parents and communities act right now.
And the fact that it's getting all of this attention right now tells me that we might be able to use this as a moment to sort of reaffirm the importance of education in public schools.
As for Jeff Wright,
I lasted 3 weeks into retirement and my wife only lasted 2. She's like, you are getting back in the game. I'm not putting up with this because my wife works from home.
He's found happiness in a larger school district in the northern part of West Michigan, the Newaygo School District, in which he actually feels huge parental support and no yelling and screaming and threats. And so the fix is the parents. We need to understand that if they lose the person at the helm of the educational ship, it will be hard to replace them, and years of dedication and education will either go elsewhere or create a dangerous vacuum of leadership that essentially keeps schools afloat. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
All right, Paula. The FDA's vaccine advisory panel is set to meet this Thursday and Friday, and tonight we're getting our first look at the data the panel will be using to make its recommendations on boosters for both the Moderna and J&J vaccines.
Our Dr. Frank McGeorge has been going through the voluminous briefing documents, and he's here with the highlights. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Kim and Jason. Yeah, you know, the documents include summary briefings that are submitted by the pharmaceutical companies, Moderna and J&J, as well as internal FDA reviews. Here are some of the important points that will be considered. Both Moderna and J&J believe booster doses are justified, given studies showing a drop in antibody levels over time after people completed their initial vaccination. There is also evidence variants like Delta are challenging that protection even more. Moderna is specifically requesting authorization for a booster dose at least 6 months from the initial series that is 1/2 the dose given during the initial vaccination. Their data shows at that dose, a booster will effectively increase protective antibody levels while potentially decreasing side effects. Moderna also believes the lower booster dose will help stretch global vaccine supply at a time when much of the world remains unvaccinated. Following in the footsteps of Pfizer's recent booster authorization, Moderna is requesting the same scope of use. People 65 and older, people 18 to 64 at high risk for severe COVID-19, and people 18 to 64 with frequent institutional or occupational exposures. The request submitted by Johnson & Johnson asks for the same booster dose as the first vaccination. However, because they were initially a single-dose vaccine, they have collected data on giving their second or booster dose in one of 2 different intervals, either 2 months after the first dose or 6 months after. J&J's data indicate that a booster given 6 months after the initial dose increases the immune response 12-fold compared to a booster at 2 months, which increases it 4 to 6-fold. The rationale for giving some people a boost at 2 months and others at 6 months is to provide more immediate enhanced protection for people at higher exposure risk or at higher risk for severe disease. J&J believes a 6-month booster for everyone else would be best for maximal and long-lasting protection. Now, as far as the safety profile of the boosters, there were no significant differences from the safety profile of the initial vaccination. And specifically for Johnson & Johnson, they had an addendum to their main data that noted a range of rare reports that included liver failure, autoimmune disorders, blood clots, vascular inflammation, transverse myelitis, heart inflammation, all kinds of things, even a drop in platelets. Although I will say their research found, in their words, there was insufficient evidence to establish a causal relationship between their vaccine and those rare events.
Yeah. Frank, are there any predictions about how these meetings, how they might go?
Well, you know, Kim, most experts believe the panel will support boosters, at least for certain groups, as they did for Pfizer. The panel is also going to hear some highly anticipated research on the results of mixing and matching vaccines, for example, getting a booster from a different brand, and we'll see how that looks, too.
Yeah.
Back to you.
We know you'll be following it. Thanks, Dr. McGeorge.
Well, kind of mixed bag out there today, but I'll tell you, for October 12th, if you're just looking for some warm weather, not bad.
I'll take it. Let's get over to Paul for a look at the weather.
Believe me, we've had a lot worse, and we're going to take these 70s and we'll keep them all the way through the end of the week. You can see here a lot of cloud cover. You see the flag here blowing, but that's aloft. It's not quite as strong here at the surface, but still, some areas are still reporting wind a little over 10 miles per hour. 70 still in Port Huron, where you've had the sunshine the longest this afternoon, but everybody else pretty much in the mid-60s at this point. And Storm Tracker 4 is showing that we are dry. Just a few sprinkles, perhaps. I'm not seeing anything reported at any of the airports, but maybe a sprinkle north of I-69. Nothing that's going to really ruin any plans. And we're just going to see temperatures just slowly kind of sag through the 60s this evening with mainly dry conditions. But we're still on track for that big change as we head into the weekend. And I will break that down for you in great detail coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Paul. In good health, changes to recommendations for people who take a daily aspirin to reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force says adults age 60 and older should not start taking aspirin. But the group recommends adults in their 40s and 50s who are at higher risk should talk to their doctor about taking a low-dose aspirin. The new guidance comes from research on the risks of internal bleeding. People over 60 already taking aspirin for a previous heart attack or stroke should continue.
The Lenawee County Sheriff says it did not find a missing woman during a two-day search near her property. The FBI, state police, and local authorities were looking for 52-year-old Dee Warner. She was last seen at her Franklin Township home in April. Police say they did uncover new information in this search, but they are not elaborating on what it is.
All right, ahead, the new developments in the case of a former Macomb County priest accused of child sexual abuse.
And here's Sean Lay.
Live at 6 o'clock, the Local 4 Defenders. We're going to need your help to find a man's stolen trailer. It actually belongs to Brother Joe. He gives out food and clothing to people in need. He needs the trailer back. We're going to show you the trailer. We're going to tell you how you can help.